Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, The Biblical Story of Creation. In a previous video, we saw how the interpretation resources developed by modernity facilitate the understanding of the differences between the world created and finished very good in the first week and the world we have come to know today after sin. In this video, we will continue to discuss the association between Genesis 1 and modernity, now based on a presentation by Professor Sayão and Suzy Lee about 2 months ago, which is available on YouTube under the title Lesson 1, Theology of Genesis, The Wrong Questions for Genesis. So, let's take a look at the video.
O dia começa ao contrário, né? Não fala assim, então Deus criou no primeiro dia, apareceu né, a luz, então foi amanhã e foi à noite, né, ou à tarde. Não, ele começa invertido. É interessante isso tem muito fundamento, porque você vê que a primeira coisa que Deus fala é haja luz, então o pressuposto que a coisa começa na escuridão, o Espírito de Deus está sobre a face, né, do abismo, então há um irromper criativo de Deus aí, e faz todo sentido, isso vai marcar a história, inclusive cultica de Israel, né?
Sayão, in a few words, exposes the singularity that the first sentences of the book of Genesis present to us. The day begins backwards, he says, and soon after he reaffirms, the day begins inverted. And why does he say this, that the day begins backwards or inverted, if, on the one hand, what we perceive through our senses is that the day passes on in the sequence morning, evening, night? On the other hand, the text presents us with two inversions, incompatible with our way of understanding them. The first consists of counting the day starting at night, and second, of counting the evening before the morning. Sayão's exhibition has an air of modernity if we understand that the concept of modernity is always related to the new, to that which breaks with tradition. It is, therefore, a concept almost always associated with a possible sense of change, transformation, and progress. Understanding that there is an inversion in the formulation of the first days may seem obvious, but this has only been possible since the end of the 20th century. However, as we saw in the video, the mistake of the Hebrew day, it is still common to teach that the mentions evening and morning in Genesis 1 reproduce the Hebrew way of counting the days. But, after all, what happens with this text? Formulating the problem based on a careful reading of the narrative is not that difficult, so let's do it. Why is that on the day of the emergence of light, which came to exist after darkness, called night, the text says, "There was evening and there was morning the first day"? We have already seen that we would expect the text to say, "There was morning and there was evening the first day." As if the text did not avoid the expression morning and evening enough, and also, as we have said before, it is not possible to count it in the Hebrew way, since the descriptive sequence does not allow the evening to be counted before darkness. Now Sayão says that the day begins inverted, that is, that the evening must be counted before the morning. Worse, it seems that Sayão gets it correctly in suspecting that the evening was created before the morning. An examination of the descriptions of the days in the 5 books of Moses, or Pentateuch, shows that in these texts there are 3 different ways of recognizing the counting of days. On the common day, the day begins in the morning, as the Egyptians counted the days, and continues into the evening, recognizing daylight before night. On the Celtic day, which began with to be adopted after the Passover of the Exodus, the counting of days is reversed. It begins in the evening and daylight is recognized after night. On the creative day, the reversal is even more radical because, in addition to the night being counted before daylight, the evening also exists before morning. This seems to highlight not only a distinction between the Egyptian calendar and the calendar that is began in the Exodus, but also the absolute isolation of the creative day, completely separated from the 2 types of day, both the common day, which recalls Egypt, and the Celtic day, the stage of the covenant with Israel. However, this creative outburst, as Sayão says, mediated by the evening, will have a strong impact on the cultic history of Israel because, on the one hand, it is through the evening that darkness meets light and the uncreated world is transformed into the created world. It is also through evening that captivity in Egypt is left behind and liberation is known, heading towards the promised land. If you would like to know more about the beginning, composition, and meaning of these three types of days, you should watch our next video, Chaos and Cartesian Order, in which we talk about the adoption of the Cartesian method in the study of biblical days, especially the descriptions of evening and morning, characteristics of the days in the first week. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like and share it, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell for notification of new videos. Don't forget to register your thoughts below. May God bless us.